Greetings, welcome back to a cup of conversation and food for thought with me, Nidra Simmons. Hey, let's talk about it. I wanna talk about it. Let's have a cup of conversation. A little jingle when I come on. Um, good day to you all. Today is really hump day, yay, yay. I said it yesterday when it wasn't, but it is hump day. Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you all out there. I want to come on and have a conversation slash, well, no, it's not really a debate because bottom line, it is what it is and whatever you call it and how it flows and work with you. But the topic is self-discipline and consistency, or self-discipline is what it is. I want to talk about emotions and compassion, discuss all of that stuff and see what it and see how all that can come together and how we can have a conversation going on that. Um, I do not own the rights to any music that you might be hearing in the background. I don't have anything playing right now, but I will play something a little bit later. But I come on always giving honor and glory to God. Please like, share, subscribe. This content is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not here to promote any music. If you do hear any music or commercials playing in the background, that's just the music playing. I play the music to stay grounded. Um, but yeah, I had a conversation with someone and it turned into a very deep debate type of thing. But bottom line of whatever I talk about, you do what you feel is best for you, and I'll do what I feel is best for me. We if we both serve God and we are working and doing the will of thus saith God, thus saith the Lord, then no matter how you get to it, if your final goal is to do whatever it is that God say do, then we'll meet each other when we get to our final destination. Um, but I'm saying this to say because we have a lot of people that are so strong-minded and believe what they want to believe or feel compassionate about what they're doing. And I'm not here to knock nobody off nobody's horse. Whatever, if you, as long as you are doing what thus saith God, the Father, Mother, Father, God, Universe, the Creator of the world, um, you cool with me. Um, and I'm not here to try to change nobody's mind. I come on here and I tell people that I come on to encourage, uplift, inspire, perhaps giving you a different perspective on how to see things. But I'm not here to try to change nobody's mind. What I did was I looked through online and I had looked up, what does the Bible say about um, feelings and emotions? And I found some things in there that can be beneficial, helpful for those who are, you know, maybe having the same question on their mind, or if they needed some places to look to try to get some information on, if they're going through some things and they're dealing with things and it's emotional, or uh, you don't know if it's emotion and compassion, or if you get into a debate with someone and they'll tell you that, emotions are dangerous, you need to leave it alone. To each his own. All I'm on here to talk about is how emotions, compassions, and feelings and all of that are tools that we have here to teach us about us so that we know how to maneuver us in this world. That's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking anybody else's reasoning behind it or anything like that. One thing I do like about these lives is because I'm on here and I'm speaking to you all out there, I can get my point across without being interrupted. But if by chance I say something that you disagree to, please type it in. We can have a discussion. Like I said, I believe communication and conversation is a form of healing, and it's, talking and getting things out. And that's how we heal. That's how we know what we can handle. That's how we know our limits. If you don't go through your emotions and feelings and know that you have compassion or don't have compassion, you're not going to know what you can and cannot take. It's a tool that we have to develop. I would like to say develop in your early ages so that you can master it when you get older. You know exactly what you're feeling and about you. But in some cases, we have people that don't get the in depth of the learning as a youth, and they have to learn it as they get older. And then you got those that do. I hope that what I'm saying is making sense to you all at the moment. If is, please hit those hearts to let me know that you are relating to what I'm saying. If not, then I will try to better prepare my words. But I encourage you all out there to please, if I'm saying something that and somebody comes to mind when I'm saying this, then by all means share the live so that they can get some of this knowledge, wisdom, have a conversation. And perhaps if there's something that's pulling at your heart on something that I say, maybe it's something that you need to address. Um, Learn and pay attention to what your body is trying to tell you. Um, it's important. As always, I want to give honor and glory to Mother, Father, God, Universe. Thank you for waking us up this morning and seeing us throughout the day. Continue to keep us and bless us, order our steps, direct our path. I pray for safe travel and mercies for those who are going to and from their destinations today. Continue to keep us and bless us. Continue to have your way, God, in our lives. Continue to keep us, order our steps, order my steps. Less of me, God, more of you. Allow me to speak what it is that you want me to say to your people. Um, I pray that you keep us all covered under the blood, washed by the blood, protected by the blood, for the just one, the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, sword of God's holy word, brother truth, and shoes of peace. Keep us and continue to provide for us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. God, you are truly, truly an awesome God and worthy of all the praises. I thank you, God, for all that you do. And I thank you for just being so wonderful. Um, Giving much respect and gratitude to you, God, first and foremost, and thank you for everything that you do. Our big brother Jesus, archangels, guardian angels, all angels in the highest Christ at light, ancestors, growing ancestors, spirit team here for it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. All right, so let me go ahead and talk about what it is that I had pulled up. Before I do that, let me see if I can find some tunes. Um, But what does the Bible say about emotions and feelings and where to find it? That is what I text into the search engine online. And let me turn that down a little bit. And emotions are God given humans. Emotions are God given and humans. The Bible shows that emotions are not inherited sinfully. Even God and Jesus displayed deep feelings. So if you're ever wondering, was there any feelings talked about in the Bible? Yes. A lot of people share their emotions and feelings in the Bible. Um, I believe God created the emotions and feelings because we are created in the image of God. Everything that we go through and what we're feeling, God has already experienced that. God created it. Um, so the Bible do give us examples of where and how emotions are expressed. If by chance you have a favorite scripture, verse, or story in the Bible that talks about, and even in your life, where where you have expressed your emotions and how it was helpful and beneficial, and how it taught you your limits, it taught you about you. I simply believe that all of our emotions are tools that we need to overcome, go through, and get to the other side so that we know how we can be around it with it. Um, let's see what else I got here. All right, Jesus expressed emotions. Jesus wept over Lazarus' death. That's in John 11:35. Don't quote me on it. I did not read it beforehand. I actually just pulled it from the internet, but I can go ahead and sue it. I have here the Ethiopian Bible. I've been trying to see what is said in that Bible. Um, I can go into John. I should use the table of contents to get there faster. But like I said, this is a cup of conversation, food for thought on uh emotions and feelings. And it all boils down to self-discipline and how you will overcome it. A lot of people say they don't want to deal with emotions because if they dealt with emotions, then people will get the hard end of the stick or the worst end of the stick. As long as you manage your self control and how you can flow through all these emotions and the consistency on how well you overcome these challenges or these emotions, these feelings, whatever one you want to call it, will better you. And these are tools used to better you as an individual, as a person. All right, so I said first, I said John. John 5:25. Uh, I don't know how long this live is going to be, but I'm going to try to go on as much as I can. Thank you. All right, so we said John 11:35. Mm, all right, then. All right, let's see. Let's see. This Bible's a little bit different. What did it say? 35. I ain't gonna find it in this one. I have to look a little bit further. So let me see. I thought I had my small Bible. Where I put it? So let's see. Somebody. Okay. Thank you for liking the live. What would you like to talk about if you join my live? What was it that you want to talk about up here? Because I want to talk about emotions and trying to let you know that I want to discuss emotions and how important it is and how it's a study guide. It's a tool. It's a life lesson that you have to physically experience and understand by going through it to know what your limits are. So, what would you contribute to this live in regards to the conversation? Share in your text so that I know that you are on board with what I'm talking about before I agree to put you on live. Um, all right, so I'm just going to read it. It says here Jesus expressed emotions. Jesus wept over Lazarus' death. John 11:35. He felt deep compassion for the crowd. Matthew 9:36 expressed severe anguish before the crucifixion. Luke 22:44 and felt righteous in anger. No, I'm not going to read it that way. I'm going to have to pull it up. I might have to pull it up. So let me go to the original Bible that I have here because I want to make sure that I'm portraying what the Bible says about emotions and feelings. It was 11:35. 11:35. Okay, it just says that Jesus wept. That's all it says. Jesus wept. So wept is a form of women's rights. I'm not talking about women's rights. That's a discussion that's heavy, and it might not go in the direction where I'm trying to talk to. But thank you for sharing. Um, it talks about wept. Okay, so let's see what else would we had it there. Matthew 9:36. Matthew. That's a heavy subject there, but no, that's not what I want to talk about on this. It's not going in the right direction of where I'm trying to. discuss here. But thank you for sharing your topic. If you go live, maybe I'll see what you have to say on your live about that. But let's see, Matthew 9:36. But when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion for them because they were weary and scattered like sheep, have no shepherd, having no shepherd. Okay. I may have to flow in this on this topic in a different direction. Thank you all for coming on the live. Thank you for joining the live. For those who are coming on, this is a discussion. I was trying to combine areas in the Bible versus real life conversation and emotions on real life conversations on emotions that we feel. I had a conversation with someone and it took off in a whole different direction. And there's nothing wrong with what the person said. There's nothing wrong with what I said. It's just that I felt like a lot of us as we get older, we don't get to master our emotions and our feelings. We're limited to how much things that we can control as individuals. And our emotions is one of the things that we should be able to control, especially when it comes to us. I'm not saying that's an easy task, but it's something that we should have a hand on. The conversation, I can't go into detail about it because it's the other person would have to be here and express it. It was coming from two different sides of one coin. The coin serves its purpose as, and you use it, as a coin. You can use it to buy things. You can use it, and I'm just going a little bit further off of the topic, but it was two different perspectives from one coin, two different sides, and the conversation they thought was, I mean, it was button heads, but it was two sides of one coin. So the purpose of it exists, but the 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 breakup of how it was being explained was different. So you're hearing mainly one side of the conversation, but the point that I'm trying to come across is that I believe, some of us go off of our emotions and our feelings, and you don't look at the consequences or the outcome of it when you do it. So if you go through your emotions and your feelings and understand what it does to you, how it makes you feel, what's your limit, how you know you're not going to go and feel this way again because of how you felt when you went through it. Those are tools, those are or skills that you have to develop from a early age on to when you get older. Now the feelings will change because the consequences and the situations will change. But on that same note, you're getting an understanding and you're knowing who you are. And it's you against you in this world. Bottom line, where it comes down is you as a youth to how you become from that youth to a teenager, from that teenager to a young adult, to the young adult to uh, grown senior citizen, whatever the case might be. you're, there's you against you through different segments and areas of your life that you're going to have to experience and go through. Now, we all have a purpose and a reason. God has something for all of us to do. We all have a purpose. Now, if I was to go ahead and talk about that, some people might not agree with what my purpose might be versus what your purpose might be. But as long as you know what your purpose is, stick with it. Don't let nobody else take your attention and your focus off of what God has for you. Um, I don't know if this is feeling like it's going further out or whatever the case might be, but I just wanted to just remind people to focus on and to maintain self-control. You don't know how much you can take or what you are willing to go through or what you're not going to go through until you go through it. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. I love seeing those hearts. Y'all can tap those hearts if I'm making sense. If I'm not making sense, type in there. I don't know what you're talking about. But if I am making sense to you, please hit those hearts. I don't want to make it complicated because the way that I have it in my head, I don't know if it's coming out the way that I need it to come out. Um, Again, I come on in to encourage, uplift, and possibly give you a different perspective on things to help your situation, not mine. And so I was reading some things, and I have some areas in the Bible to where they do talk about emotions and the feelings and so forth. But what it boils down to is when you are dealing with your emotions and when you're dealing with your feelings and so forth, how much of self-discipline and consistency within your self-control do you have within yourself? Because a lot of people, and I know if one person told me, it's not just one person that feels that way, it's probably many others that says that they don't like to deal with or go off of their emotions, because if they went off their emotions, there'll be a lot of negative outcomes from that person dealing with their emotions. And I felt a certain kind of way because I always talk about encouraging and uplifting and going through your emotions. Don't hide it, don't run from it, feel it, go through it. Well, on that same note, I now have to come back and say, if you're going through those emotions and those feelings, you have to practice self-discipline and be consistent about it. I don't want to tell you one thing and you do it. It's like, dag, it went all left. And because, there was one minute thing that I could have added on to that. And what I want to add on to that is if you're dealing with your emotions, which I still am a strong, firm believer about that, about you going through and dealing with these emotions and these feelings. You have to deal with them. You're not going to know your power, your level of or whatever it is you can take if you don't go through these emotions and these feelings. But on the same note, practice self-discipline. You know right from wrong. You know what it's like to hurt somebody if somebody just hurt you. So don't be so quick to want to return the favor to hurt somebody else. Experience what you're feeling. What is it that you're learning from that emotion and that feeling? What is it that that what is it you're going to take away from this emotion and this feeling, whether it's good or bad, and how are you going to improve yourself so that you don't go through the situation again if it's good or bad, depending on whatever it is that you're going through. Am I making sense? Can I get some hearts or something up there? Are you following what I'm saying? Am I making sense to you all out there? Because I don't want to come across and confuse nobody, but I go by this saying: when you know better, you do better. When you understand things better, thank you, you're gonna come across a little bit better. So a lot of my conversations might be kind of like repeat, but I guarantee you there's something new that's going to come out of it. Because if I ever said something and it was not fully true, or if I left something out of it, I'm going to come back to try to correct what I say, because I am responsible for whatever I teach. I am responsible for whatever I teach. All right. So I live and learn. And when I know better, I do better. I'm great. How are you doing? Thank you for joining the line. So I'll go ahead and just read some more of the stuff that I have. But like I said, I want to make sure my disclaimer's in there. It's important to go through your emotions and your feelings. Just make sure you are practicing self-discipline and consistency to making sure that you are not doing wrong but doing right. Thank you for the compliment. All right, so God has feelings. Scriptures speak about God's feelings, griefs over human wrongdoing in Genesis 6:6, fierce love, Isaiah 49:15, and delight in his people. So basically, God has feelings. I gave you some scriptures to back that up if you want to look at it in the Bible. That was Genesis 6:6, Isaiah 49:15, and Zephaniah 3:18. And let me look and see what I'm looking in the regular Bible, not the amplified. I want to see what Ephesians 6:6 say. Let's see, 1962. Um, let's see, 1962. We're looking at Ephesians 6:6, and it says, "Let him who is taught the word share it all good things with him who teaches." Huh? Let who receives instruction in the word of God share all good things with his teacher. All right, that's not what I wanted to get to, but basically, I'm going to just flow because when I sit here and try to do it according to thank you, I put those together too. But yeah, self-discipline, consistency um of your emotions and your feelings plays a very important part in your character and your well-being and you as an individual. Thank you for the compliment. I wrote a lot of stuff down here and I didn't read it. I just wrote it because I felt good writing it. I don't know about you all out there, but I like writing, and writing is like therapeutic to me. Sometimes I write and it'll come out my head onto paper, or I'm writing something else that I'm trying to learn about. Um, or I'm just sitting outside and I'm just writing. It's very therapeutic to me. It's not good for my hands because I have this little thing that knots up on my hand, but it's very therapeutic to me regardless anyway. But I just wanted to touch a little bit about the emotions and feelings and compassion and so forth. I even looked up the definition between compassion and emotions, and emotions break down to three different characters. Compassion is more of a f- a feeling. They're all feelings and emotions, but one is more in depth and more one has a dark side attached to it if you let it go there, and the other one doesn't. Um, it's more of a moving in love and light and concern and care. Um, so maybe I should have posed that question. What is the difference between emotions and compassion? Is there a difference? Absolutely. But do they not flow hand in hand? They sure can. But either way, you have to practice self-discipline and self-control with yourself so that you don't let anything turn you to the negative. We have some control. We're not in control over a lot of things. Trust me, my lesson that I've been learning since this year has come in is that I don't have much control over anything. But I do have control over me as far as my emotions, my feelings, how I'm going to respond, how I'm going to act. I have control over me. You have control over you. This is why it's important as humans we go through and take advantage of these tools that we have to learn. We're in earth school, real life earth school. Compassion is a drive for something. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Did I say it wrong? But yeah, okay. You worded it better. Compassion is a drive for something. Emotions can be too, but the difference between the two, compassion is leading more towards something, and you don't have that. Oh, that's your definition. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. Um, and emotions, can go either way. But what is a common factor in the two is that either way that you deal with it, you have to practice self-discipline. Um, you can have compassion for something or someone, and that person may not see that compassion the way that you see it. And then you may become a target for wrongdoing or being taken advantage of because the other person might see you that way. Or you both can have compassion for the same common goal and y'all can move forward and make something promising and be powerful in whatever it is that you both have compassion about. It's all in how you um, move with it. And I'm great. How are you? Thank you for joining the live. Um, yeah, I have to keep myself grounded, y'all, because I don't know about y'all out there, but I've been feeling series of different types of emotions, and a lot of it is agitation and anxiety and moving too fast when I need to slow down. I'm great, thank you. There was something that I did write, and it was talking about those other types of emotions. Um, um, Breaking down what the Bible teaches about anxiety and grief, including practices and steps. Process anxiety and scriptures. All right, the Bible. Uh, and my day is going great. Thank you for joining the live. Breathing does help. Breathing does help the nervous system. Um, but if you're moving so fast, or well, no, I'm not going to take. I'm not taking away what you said. Yes, breathing does help the nervous system. Period. Now I want to add on to go on to something else in regards to um my mind just shifted and said something else when I read that, and what I was looking at is how a lot of us try to go fast forward and move faster than we need to, and anxiety can play a part in pushing you to go further when you should have just slowed down and stayed where you were. I just had to get that out because it just came in my head. I'm sitting here and I'm flowing. I ain't trying, I'm flowing. But I want to not be all over the place. But when you're dealing with emotions and feelings, hey, how are you? Long time no see. I thank you all for joining the live. Thank you for joining this live. Much appreciated. For those of you that just joined the live, good morning. The conversation is about self-discipline and consistency. And look, I'm grateful for all y'all that joined the live. I had someone that said they came on my live and I didn't greet them individually or with a smile. So I am grateful for every single person. I'm gonna give my big old smile. I'm grateful for every single person that comes on this live, contribute, say something. I thank you all. This live would not flow or be as interesting as it is if you all don't come on and attend and join into the conversation. So I am grateful for all of you. Thank you. I was talking about a lot of things, so let me see if I can get grounded and go someplace and talk about for a moment. Um, this planet we live on, this earth school that we live on, it's all we have to learn us to be able to maneuver into this world. A lot of people might disagree with me on that one, and that's fine. You can. Um, let's talk about it. So let me get some input from you all out there. How do you feel um one can handle? Thank you, thank you. How do you feel one can handle I want y'all to include self-discipline and consistency in it. But when it comes to compassion and when it comes to emotions and feelings, what do you need to have more of? And what are some of the limits you have to put in place to maintain, whether it's emotions and compassion? Um, and does it matter whether it's male or female on how we see things? Um, I think, okay, I'm going to go ahead and accept you on. How you doing? I don't know if it's going through. Balance is key. Yes, balance is important. I can hear you now. How you doing? Good. I am great. I'm trying not to be all over the place, but I'm great.
rephrase the question again? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. The question is, I want to stick with emotions and compassion. So, um, and I'm probably going to rephrase the question in a different way, and I apologize. I have to write things down to get it directly how it is. But what is important and compassion, or which is more important, or if it's equal, compassion or emotions, and what can you do to make sure that you don't overdo it to where you can maintain self-discipline and consistency? I think I changed it around.
That's a great question. That's that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
If we're being honest, um, compassion has to be there, right?
Mm-hmm. Like someone
Uh,
said, it's a drive. It's what gets you to where you got to go to.
exactly. It's the vehicle. It's the gateway to moving forward. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand that compassion doesn't necessarily mean you still want to stay with the person, right? Sometimes compassion could mean, hey, look, we had a great run. It just doesn't work for me, but I have compassion. And all those things that come with letting that person know that, hey, you're still special. I'm talking relationship right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're still special to me, but I don't feel like we have that same connection. It's okay. So yeah, I like compassion, but I still think it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. And emotions. Um, when I was looking up the emotions, I didn't write it down. It had three components to it, and not to break it down to just three emotions, the three components, but when you think about emotions, versus compassion, you have that anger, agitation. You have all these full of different types of things that you can turn the direction in on a negative standpoint or on a positive standpoint. What would you suggest, or if someone was looking at it on a relationship standpoint, to maintain that self-discipline and consistency so that you don't go over or under, what would you suggest to maintain when it comes to emotions? Because I know a lot of people, well, someone had mentioned to me when they was talking about emotions, that if they were to go off their emotions, then all he double hockey sticks would break loose. So what would you say to someone to not go off on that level, and what kind of self-discipline or consistency would you input on that? Did I throw that all over the place? See, my mind's got a lot of stuff going on here.
That's- emotions. Emotions. Hmm, emotions can work both ways, right? It can work for you and work against you.
Hmm.
I think emotional control is always the key, though, in any situation. I don't, for example, right, if you're having a heated debate or argument with your significant other, I think the control of it, understanding the timing of it as well. I think a lot of people, when it comes to emotions, like we're gonna say what's on our mind.
Hmm.
We really don't care, and sometimes we don't care how that person is going to take it, feel about it, receive it.
And
It's like we say what we say.
accountability. That's the part that I have lingering at the end of my head.
Knowing good and well don't want to be this
Hmm.
one, but seems really just 15 seconds. So I really think, the emotional part about it, like, it can work for you and it can work against you. I think it's the emotional control, the intelligence that you have as far as dealing with your person. Because, people tend to be present but not present. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I think that's like you said, that the lack of accountability, safe plays and all that good stuff, right? Communication,
Hmm.
temperament. But love is a learned language. Like a lot of people think, okay, I know what love is. I'm just gonna jump into this relationship world.
Hmm.
Like, well, it's like, wait a minute, this is a whole nother individual.
Uh-huh.
That's a whole. you're right. It's a whole nother person. You have to learn. And I think a lot of people don't want to take the time to do that because that takes consistency, patience, understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the world we live in now, the connection is lost. Like I come from the old school, so it's like
Hmm.
we used to have to walk to people's houses, ask them out. Now it's swipe left and swipe right. Right? So,
And there's no conversation in it. But I don't want to take away from relationships, but I do want to reach if there was people that was still hanging on before that wasn't in relationships and they were and I was asking that same question. But before I do that, I tell you there's a bunch of stuff going on up here. But before I go that and do that, um consistency, not consistency, accountability, that is one of your markers to look at to help practice that self-discipline. Because if you are someone that is so quick to speak and short temper and you know you're going to say something that you don't need to say, that's those tools of learning emotions and compassion is and you need those things to teach you. You'll know your limit once you understand, oh well, if I say this, that might hurt their feelings, but then I don't care. But then if I don't, and then if I say this, the outcome is, I may not get what I want to try to get, what I'm trying to get with this person later on, or whatever the case might be. So you weigh your options, and you know your limits, and you don't go past your limits. And that's self-discipline and consistency so that you can keep control yourself to make sure that you don't go part way far out. And that's not even good English, but someone said on here balance. You have to maintain balance so that you can know that you're not going to go out there and mess up what you don't want to mess up. And you said breathing, practice breathing and everything and do all that stuff. Do what you need to do to make sure that you're not going to go way out there. And hello to you all out there that's saying hello. Sorry if I didn't say hi earlier, and thank you for the compliments. But and I'm talking fast, I apologize. When I tell you there's a lot of stuff going on up here, I want to get stuff out there, but I don't want to go all over the place because I can take this someplace else. But I started off by reflecting scriptures in the Bible. We don't have to stick there. I was just trying to find some key points to those that feel like, um, you know, we don't need to go emotions. It was created by God. We have these emotions for a reason, and they're tools to be able to use those emotions to help us be better people. Um, do you have anything to add to that to those that I know you're relationship orientated. Um but to just individuals, like from a man's standpoint or man's point of view, I can come at it from a female point of view. There was a question that I asked before. Does it make a difference when it comes to emotions and compassion, whether it's coming from a male or a female? So what is your standpoint on compassion and emotions from a man's standpoint? In other words, um, I'm all about uplifting, encouraging, and trying to help people see things from a different perspective. Is there any advice that you would give from a man's standpoint to a man about how you can better self-discipline and show consistency on emotions and compassion as a man to a man?
oh yeah, yeah, that's a great question. Once again, yeah, definitely. I think having a purpose and a vision. I think it's okay to make mistakes. I think it's okay to fail. I think it's okay to say, hey, look, that business investment didn't work. But let me take what I learned from that failed experience now, because now that I'm more resilient now, right?
Mhm.
I can go and see what I did wrong and fix it. And I think if I had to give a perspective from a man to a man, I would say, hey, look, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. Like it's okay to take off the tough man, the tough guy. It's okay to take off the tough guy outfit.
Mhm.
If they were married, I would say, hey, have those conversations with your wife.
Mhm.
If you don't feel the peace when you come home, because for a lot of men, there's certain things we just don't talk about, right? That's just in a man's makeup to be tough.
Health.
Not gonna show any fear, right? That gladiator mentality. And
Mhm.
it's like, "But wait a minute. I feel some type of way.
Mhm.
I feel like I need to let something out, right? And I get it. The gym is great. The walks are great. Um, But we need more than that. And especially when it comes to dealing with a significant other that we hold value in. It's like, no, wait a minute, Queen. I need you to give me that mental decompression. I need when I come home. I'm not talking about. I'm
Mhm.
not even talking. I'm talking about mentally.
Mhm.
I need you to calm my nervous system down because I just literally went to war for 8 to 10, 12, 15 hours, whatever hours I work that day out in the corporate world, whether I'm hustling, washing cars, whatever I'm doing
Mhm.
to bring that back to the family structure, right? It's hard because in this world that we're living in, where inflation and we see what's going on outside, right? I mean, it doesn't take the rocket science to say it's expensive out here.
Mhm.
So when a man has to go out and provide when he comes home, right? Because this is what you hear all the time. Well, I just want a woman to give me peace, and that's great. But are you communicating what you need as opposed to just you want her to read your mind? It, it doesn't work like that. You have to communicate.
Yeah, it's
And
important.
exactly. So, once your significant understands that, hey, look, I need more than just that. And we can actually have that same conversation, and both nervous systems is calm. You'll find that teamwork definitely makes the dream work. That's my opinion, though.
Okay. All right. I agree with what you're saying as far as we're not mind readers, women or men, we're not mind readers. And I do believe communication and conversation is a healing thing. I'm going to stand by that. It's free. And if you are lucky, or not lucky, let me not use lucky, if you are blessed to have a mate that you can go home to and be yourself, that's awesome. A lot of people ask for that, but they don't really want it, or they don't know what that is. Um, and I say that to say, and it can go both ways. I've witnessed and I've experienced, if you pray and you ask for something, someone, and then you get it, then you don't know how to respond to it. So it goes back to a question of learning who you are. Talk it out before you walk it out. I hear you. But it goes back to knowing yourself and being open with yourself. And I agree, men don't have to be brave when they come home. You should be able to uh, if you are frustrated, upset, and you want to cry, cry it out. I am not going to tell a man not to cry. I have a son, and I don't tell my son don't cry. Express what you feeling. If you got something you got to say, express it. You're not going to know how to express it until you're able to express it. You don't know what feelings might come up with whatever you say until you feel those feelings. So it goes back to going through these emotions and going through these feelings because it's important. It's your it's tools. It's your it's your real life textbook. It's your real life worksheets. It's your real life homework assignment. It's stuff that you have to develop as an individual. Um and you're going to need to maintain that as you get older. And you can only get better the more you go through it. Not something that most people want to do, but don't shy away from it. And coming from a woman's perspective, as far as emotions and compassion, now women are always or most likely looked at as the softer part of the making of the man. Okay, because it's the woman and the man. But anyway, um, we come across compassion anyway. But we have emotions too. Now, some women are not shy from how they promote and express their feelings. Some are real loud, and they can be real loud. And what does the Bible, Proverbs say? It's better to sit on top of a rooftop than to stay inside of a house with a nagging woman. Um, so women have to practice self discipline and consistency on how they're speaking to individuals. They have to learn how to talk to the person and not at the person. We have to learn how to be able to express because, some women will not tell the truth or express fully what they're feeling because they don't want to hurt the feelings of the other person that they're talking to. But you have to be confident in who you are and know whose you are and know what you carry. That's my favorite saying. I got to get that on a t-shirt. Um, and know that you are able to navigate through the situation. You don't have to be intimidated by how you're flowing, but you don't have to be overpowering to where it's not received. So consistency with self-discipline, learning how to receive. If you were talking to yourself, if you were talking to yourself that way, would you really be listening? Would you be respectful? If what you say would would make you catch an attitude, if somebody came to you that way, then you need to put that in consideration because that other person you talk to might pick up that attitude. So self-discipline and knowing your worth and knowing that you can speak and be comfortable. It's both ways. Women want to come home too and be able to just unwind, and sometimes women talk too much about the workplace. Men don't want to hear it, vice versa. You got to practice some uh self-discipline and consistency on the whole situation. Give a little, take a little. Give a little, take a little. Don't just be so overpowering. Am I making sense?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
It's the thing. I'm a firm believer in a two-way street. I don't believe in a dictatorship. I don't believe that the man is higher than a woman, but it's higher than a man. I believe, everybody says they want to ride or die, right?
Mhm,
But I don't think they understand what that truly means.
mhm.
I think people believe it to have this stigma of she's just gonna listen and she's just gonna stick with you, when you're broken. And I get all that, and that's true. But the definition, to me, from my perspective of ride or die, is um, lead from a place of intent for both of us to grow.
Mhm.
Not make it a dictatorship, right? It's not my way or the highway. It doesn't work like that because even although they say I'm the provider of the printer, that's true. But you still need the queen.
You said something very interesting. You said lead. Now let me ask you this question. As a leader, and I'm talking about a regular relationship between a man and a woman. Um, how would you propose to a woman to ask? Uh, it's in my head. Let me see if I get it right. How would you propose to a woman who has been very independent, um, to consider allowing the man to lead? Now, I know I'm not saying that the man is greater than, but if you were to look at it as the woman submitting and the man leading, how would you propose that to a female for them to receive that without, well, just to receive it because you can't control what they're gonna think.
Right. I really don't like the word submit. I, I,
Hmm.
I I really despise that word.
Okay.
Um,
Relate to, connect,
yeah.
be on a common ground level, or yeah,
Well, you
equally yoked.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think you should always build your table before you chase the table. That makes sense.
Hmm.
Let me just start there. Um, Man has to have a vision, and I'm not saying he has to be a millionaire. He just has to have a vision and a plan,
Hmm.
and the rest comes through prayer, right? God, the Bible tells you faith without works is dead. So
Hmm.
you have to understand what that looks like too. The Bible didn't say faith and you just sit there.
So there's got to be
That's
some
not
action there.
exactly, yeah, it can't be stagnant. So when you meet a woman who's already independent, you have to understand from a man's perspective. When I've met women and I can kind of see them, right? They kind of got this little thug in them. They kind of got this like I'm already knowing what's going on.
Hmm.
She's been let down.
Hmm.
That's all it is. She's been let down too many times.
Hmm.
She has heard the same old verbiage, the same old
Over
this,
and
that,
over and
grand
over again.
rising queen. Oh my gosh, God sent you to me. All that love bombing. But I think what you have to do is take away that masculine responsibility by like we talked about earlier, by what? Not your words, by how you're moving. How are you moving out here? When you decide to entertain, because choice is power. You
Hmm.
never want to take someone's choice away, right? Just like
Hmm.
when you're on a first date, right? It's your choice whether you're going to entertain this person or not for a second date, right? And I'm a firm believer that you kind of know where you at that first date. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. to for your mind to say, I've seen that movie before. Now, right now,
Mhm.
if you settle because you're lonely, you're horny, whatever it is,
Mhm.
and you just say, you know what, I see the red flag. Oh my gosh, I've been alone just way too long. That is where you're essentially crossing and impeding your own boundaries.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know it. They don't know it because they like you said earlier, they haven't done the work with accountability. I'm still I still want somebody to tell me I'm okay. I still need somebody to touch me at night. I still need somebody to feel validated. And I think people don't understand that you don't get validation from anybody. It's always going to be the person in the mirror. You
Mhm.
can't stop being the best version of you. You just can't.
It's you against you. You got to
That's what
love
I'm saying.
you.
New
Mhm.
iPhones come out every year, different vehicles. The world is upgrading. We're starting to go away from certain things that we're used to, and it sucks, right? Some of it is like, well, wait a minute. Well, life is going to continue to life, right? You can't. We can only control what we can control, and that's who the person in the mirror. So that's the same way in relationships. My job is not to control you, right?
Mhm.
But I do have to understand what I'm looking for as far as dating. If I'm dating with intent. Now,
Okay.
some people are dating to manipulate and all that childish stuff, but I'm talking about the people
Mhm.
that are actually looking for a connection.
Okay.
You're not going to waste their time. You're just not because you don't want them to waste your time. So I think the transparency, like you said earlier, the accountability. Just keep it real, man.
Yeah.
Be
It's a
it
lot
real.
of
You
there's a
said
lot of people that's uh Prophet Lion, they're coming off and saying that they have all this and they're that and they're not. And then they get
we
mad
gotta
at you
stand
because
up
you
the
see the
truth.
truth. Hmm?
Nobody's gonna ever be healed.
Yeah.
Don't believe that. Don't believe that hype.
Hmm.
There's no one that is ever going to be healed, but we can transition. And we can't leave the unforgiveness and bitterness and anger. Now we can get over that.
Hmm.
But will we ever forget? Of course not. We're not going
No,
to
I
never
don't
forget.
never say forget.
Exactly. So,
But you do
but
gotta forgive. That's for you, not for them.
exactly. And then, you can't elevate unless you let go of what no longer grows you anyway. That's just, we understand that aspect. So
And
I think
that's
people
a hard pill to
actually,
swallow when you gotta constantly let go and you're like, wait a minute, we just met. What? You
right?
gotta go? They weren't
I
good
know.
for you.
I'm talking about like you made it past the phone to the date, and it's like you did all that, and it's like, yeah, this is not gonna work.
Hmm.
But I feel bad for the people who are settling for voids. I feel bad because it's like at the end you're only hurting yourself
Hmm.
because somebody feeling's gonna get hurt if it's not a real connection there, or you're just playing the game. Somebody gonna get, and we all know mental health is real.
Hmm.
Like there are crazy people out here in the world.
Yeah.
So like that movie. What movie strikes me is it's a thin line between love and
Oh
hate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you
Always that.
never know how close you are pushing somebody over that limit. And
Well, you know what it is, right, Ninja?
hmm.
The reason why I referenced that movie because she kept it real with Martin Lawrence. She
Hmm.
said
She gave her
I,
disclaimers,
she
her
did.
warnings.
She said I'm crazy. I done did this to my ex-husband.
Hmm.
Do not play with me.
Hmm.
But what did he do? He settled for the money.
Uh-huh.
Uh, finally got him a piece of cookie.
Hmm.
And he thought that she was just, she told you I am crazy.
Yes. And people tell on themselves in the beginning. It's just a matter of you seeing past the, oh, he is so fine, or she is, she's the bomb. I mean, I
Right,
can't remember words, but she looks all of that. And they go past what they're being told.
exactly,
And then
exactly.
you pick up too along the way how people really are. I mean, to know how somebody really is when you get that first argument and that connection of you starting to meet each other. That right there is a huge bowl of gumbo that you can pick out and say, oh, 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 oh.
Exactly, right. And this is what they don't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the hookup culture, and
Mm-hmm.
we're in times where exterior is validated more than that. interior,
Hmm.
right? And a lot of people don't understand that, but you know, I, you
Thank
know
you for
what?
joining the live.
One of the best relationships
Hmm.
that you can have is a long distance relationship. They'll say, "What?" I
I
say,
disagree
"What?
with
A
that.
long distance?" Right, exactly. And I get this all the time. But here's the kicker: a long distance relationship that builds character. If you're serious, I'm not talking about playing games.
Hmm.
If you're serious, you will learn. Long distance relationship teaches you a lot of things.
Mm.
It teaches you how to be consistent. It
Patient.
teaches you to trust. It teaches you to have communication, and it teaches you to control what you can't control.
It
Um,
also gives you a lot of time to fake the funk.
I'm, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? Mentor, you have to give. See, that's the thing, right? I understand.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm
No, I don't agree with that. There's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing.
yes.
But that works for both sets, men and women, right?
Yeah.
But you do have to allow because you literally miss your blessing because you like, man, I heard that before. Well, you might have heard it before. We've all heard the same things in different ways, but it's the actions, the consistency. I think a lot of people say the same things, but they fall off because they're just certain individuals, right, that are a lot more consistent. And that's the thing. If you see value in somebody, you're going to be consistent. If you don't, and you're just there to play games, well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get ghosts. They're
Hmm.
going to be out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you say long distance relation, are y'all meeting in the relation or just strictly long distance communication over the
No,
phone and can
no. Like eventually, you want to you want to catch a flight, but I was talking from everything's mental first. You have to understand it. Everything is mental first. I
hmm
mean, yeah, you could like how she looks or
hmm
he looks, but that you a lot of people if they're being honest, they'll tell you after a while that don't even mean nothing because looks fade. Let's just be
absolutely.
honest, right?
Absolutely.
But it's not about the money or the looks anyway. It's how you make somebody feel, right?
Hmm.
People when people are still healing,
Hmm.
it's not they don't miss the person, they just miss the feeling.
Hmm.
From a, they don't understand the difference between the nervous system and dopamine yet. There's still stuff in between. So a lot of people are still getting triggered by what feels good, and now
Hmm.
as opposed to looking at it, well, what's good for me,
Hmm.
right? What's good for me? What are my standards? What are my boundaries? What am I actually looking for? Because it is, and I tell this to men all the time. Just be honest, man. Like if you're looking for a one night stand, say that. If you're looking for a long term, don't sit there and lie. You'll be first of all. Let me say this: you will be surprised by the answers you get if you're just honest.
Hmm.
If that's what you're looking for. But I think to continue to have the makeup of the representative and continue to wear that costume. I don't celebrate Halloween, but what I'm saying is take the costume, like be your authentic self. Say what you're looking for, and don't be mad about it. This is where you're at in life.
Hmm.
See, everybody thinks, oh, we have to keep up with the Joneses. No, nobody told you you have to be the rabbit in the race. It's okay to be the turtle.
Hmm.
It literally is okay to be the turtle.
Yeah. You'll see a lot more as the turtle. But don't be too long. But listen, I when you were talking, there was something that came to mind, and I don't even know how to word it, but I'm gonna say it this way, and you can tell me how it is because it can go both ways for men and women. But um, how can I say this? Okay, um, women get a bad name, and I don't watch enough of these lives on here to stay around and hear what they got to say because I can't get past the arguing and the rude, disrespectful speaking. But women get a lot of bad publicity when they feel like, and this is related with the long distance relation. I think that's what brought it to my mind, where um, women get to these long distance relationships and then they talk in the conversations and they express and then they meet and then uh instead of waiting to do something the first time you meet despite however long it takes for y'all to meet and then you meet and then you give in too quick The woman may be thinking that this is long term. The man might be like, okay, yeah, this is something, but they're not on the same level. So women get a bad name because she'll give herself into this particular relationship, going all in and then giving herself up, and then it might not be the same way. And like I said, it can be vice versa. It could be a man that deals with it too. So I know how women are looked at. Um, and it's tough because it's pretty much you shouldn't have done it. But if a man do it, it's like you the man, pat him on the back, you go dog and all this other stuff. So how can I put some question for him? Um, I don't want to lose this. I want to keep it going. How would you rate that in a long distance relationship? What advice would you give to both men and female on not giving in too early?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, though. And like you said, right? That's the process you have to literally go through the process.
You got to go through those emotions, those feelings, right? See what it's like once you get to that point.
Yeah, Keith Sweat could be playing in the background right outside. It could be a romantic day. You could be sitting there over some nice wine and candlelight dinner. But at the end of the day, we talked about this, the control,
Hmm.
emotional control. See, people don't understand that that's emotions.
Hmm.
Um, when you're attracted to somebody, right? Whether it's mentally, whatever it is, right? Because some people they're not they're they're special, right? It's a mental thing to some people.
Hmm.
It's not just the physical. So what are you looking for? Are you okay with having that control of saying, you know what, my temptations and my flesh says, oh yeah, I want this person, but my discernment and my better judgment from God says, well, you know, be patient. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Nedra.
Hmm.
Where most women lose men. This is from a man's perspective now. This is a cheat code, right?
Hmm.
Um, they give it up way too easy.
Hmm.
And then it's like for a man, it's like, okay, well, I got what I wanted.
But it's not. Sometimes it's not way too easy from the women's mindset. I mean,
Mhm.
uh, I don't know. Women think differently than men, and I know this, but um,
And that's what I
I ain't
said.
mean to
There's
cut
two
you off.
different daters. No, you're fine. Fine. There's two different type of daters.
Hmm.
You're either gonna date with intent or you're gonna date with manipulation. There is no gray area. You know what you're doing when you're doing it. Um, when you go on a date and you see a woman that you're attracted to, speak from a man's perspective, you know exactly what you're looking at. Like, this is what's presented, and either you're going to be a grown up about it, be mature about it, or you're just going to be a dog. Now, it's no longer on you, right? It's play ball now
Hmm.
because we don't know each other, right? We're still in the process of the honeymoon phase or whatever you want to call it. But that's where it's important for a woman. If I had to give advice to a woman now, is to recognize the way this man is talking.
Hmm.
Listen, don't listen to him, just listen. See, because
Read
manipulators,
between the
right?
lines. Uh-huh.
Manipulators and narcissistic people, they have certain patterns, and
Hmm.
they don't go outside of those patterns, and they don't even know they're doing it when they're doing it because they're so used to being that character, right?
Hmm.
But if you don't know what that looks like, and I know it's kind of deep, but if you don't know what that looks like, you won't be able to unveil the mask. You're gonna literally say, "Oh my gosh, he or she just said the most beautifulest thing." I think it's all Disney cartoons, but uh, when you recognize, you're like,
Yeah, they start to justify what they promise. If it doesn't happen, they'll justify. Oh well, such and such and such. Or
but you know what though? There are good guys out here. There
hmm.
are there are people, good women and men, are actually dating with intent, and it is certain things that do sound the same, but it ain't the same. If that makes sense, because You're gonna be a gentleman. You're gonna be ladylike. I mean, it's okay to give compliments.
Mhm.
I'm not a firm believer of not giving compliment. Why would you not give someone that you find attractive a compliment? Now, I'm
Yeah.
not saying being overbearing and just every 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It's annoying. It gets
Mhm.
annoying after a while, but I think when you're dating with intent, things flow a lot smoother. It doesn't feel forced.
Mhm.
Um, you naturally want to open up, and yeah, you might still keep certain things, you know, until you feel comfortable enough to release that information. But it's simple. We make it so complicated. Getting to know the person, and if we're talking from a long distance relationship, you can still get on FaceTime and still have a connection. You can still go to dinner. You can still do things to show, right? We were saying earlier to show that
Mhm.
hey, like I'm not just talking. Like
Mhm.
you're literally on the phone right now, and you're with me. And yeah, I'm here. Let's do it. And that's why I said long distance relationships really do build character because
It does, and it teaches you about yourself too.
because we get comfortable when you can just go down the street.
Mhm.
I know that sounds crazy. That's why a lot of people date outside of their state, and I understand it because you tried in your state and it just doesn't work for whatever for one reason or another. But
Sometimes you're hidden in your state.
right, I mean, whether you date in state or not, right?
Mhm.
It really comes down what you're truly looking for, and you have to make sure you stick to your itinerary, and not make it about their looks or make it about the Rolex that he has on his hair or the night, whatever it is.
Mhm.
You have to stay disciplined and have, like we talked about, emotional control to say, okay, let me
Self-discipline.
take the flesh
Mhm.
out of it because damn it, she looks amazing,
Mhm.
but I still have to get to know her because she can still be a psychopath.
One thing I
Decide.
wanted to say is to recognize patterns in long distance relationships. There's patterns that you can pick up on and recognize, and like they say, test the spirit. When you get someone to prophesy or say something to you, watch the patterns and test the watch for when you watch patterns, and if you get confirmation off of something, because you'll get an idea from a pattern. Okay, they're doing this because, and if they do it again and again, okay, you got them. They're showing you exactly what it is that that they're showing you. And if you have any questions or doubts, you have your confirmation right there. And say something. Don't just keep it all in your mind and not, after you've got enough confirmation, then say something. And then if
Exactly.
it changes, then but yeah.
Right. Right. Why settle? He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So, when you find that Ruth, you have to understand what the meaning of finding a Ruth is, because if you understand the story of Boaz and Ruth, he's seen
Ah,
many women in
yeah.
his fields.
Find that Boaz.
He's seen many of women in his fields. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
was that guy.
Yeah.
We're talking. He was the CEO basically of his
Mm-hmm.
business. He could have had he had
Anybody he wanted.
yeah, he had anybody want, but that's what I'm saying. The discernment, um, you'll understand it. I know, if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for every individual is different in their walk with God, but
Yeah.
um,
And it's that pure heart. You can feel that pure heart.
exactly,
You know
and
when
you
it's
can't be
real.
afraid. Exactly, and you cannot be afraid to say this is what I'm. If you're, look at it from a consumer standpoint. You're not when you go to order something, you're not gonna not order what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna pull up to a drive-through and just say, "Well,
Give me
give me
anything you
what
got.
give me what you think I would
Uh-huh.
like." So that's what's wrong with today's times.
Mm-hmm.
We're basing our emotional stability off of validation of
Other
others.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Sad. They have taken the connection, right? Social media, the internet has taken that actual real connection away from people. So
Yeah.
you have to learn how to establish it and go back to the old school. It's like, no, wait a minute. I wanna I don't wanna date you. I wanna date you and court you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you add the two together, it's a cheat code. And then right, it's still up to the person to say, do I believe them? Do I not?
And it's the confidence in yourself too, making sure that you know what you're feeling
Well,
and
well, that's the rabbit and the turtle.
yeah.
Just be the turtle. It's okay to say, this is too good to be true.
But don't be too slow. That telling me take a look.
Talking, they sounding.
Yeah.
Okay, so gotta be the turtle.
Mhm.
However long that takes for you,
The
it
individual.
ain't about rush. It ain't about rush. When
And
you're ready,
that's I think that's a lot of the weaknesses for some of the women or even men that have know what they want. I mean, like to know for years what they're looking for. And this could be both men and women. And you find someone that comes close to it, and then you start saying, well, maybe I can slide on this one. No, stick with what you feel that you know what you've been looking for years. It's not non-existent. If you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it. It's in you. Then you know what you're looking for.
yeah,
Stick with it.
yes, yes.
And that's easier said than done. Trust me, I know.
I mean, the dating market is so sad
Yeah,
because it's a whole bunch of hurt people hurting people, right?
that's it. And
But we
mhm,
have to have that accountability to hold ourselves accountable to say, "Well, I seen the signs."
mhm.
Now you're like, I get it, right? Somebody will say, "Oh, well, I didn't see it right off the top," and oh my God,
You felt
that's
it. If you ain't see it, you felt it. You just ignored it.
right, right, that part. And then you have, like I said, you didn't give it enough time,
Mhm,
obviously, because the representative will always fall off, especially when there's certain things that aren't on the table, like physical interactions. When a woman says, "No, I need to really get to know you for real," like, and even then,
mhm,
that's a big maybe for me, right?
mhm,
Most men, where we don't think logically, we think with the other head,
mhm.
not the head up here. So it's like,
Exactly. Just saying so.
right? That's what I'm saying. So
Uh-huh.
when you're dating, you don't belong to it. You're a free agent.
Mhm.
That's why I feel like it's okay to be honest. Yes, I'm dating. You're single. I'm saying, yeah, you're dating. I'm dating. We're all dating, right? Because we're single. So the people that aren't supposed to, they're gonna fall off. Naturally, they're just gonna fall off to the
Mhm.
side because they don't meet the criteria of the spiritual agenda. Because see, when you pray for things, it ain't in the flesh. Everything is spiritual, right? We fight spiritual. It's a spiritual warfare. So
Mhm.
if you're a believer, then you understand. You understand what that looks like.
Mhm.
But it's okay to give people a chance. Like
Mhm.
it's literally okay to have faith and say, I do not want to feel that feeling, but I also don't want to be by myself.
Mhm.
I don't want to, I want to be with somebody I can truly say, damn, I found love again.
Mhm.
Have that companion to be there and all that good stuff. So, that's human nature. Like, if that wasn't the case, there wouldn't be no Eve and Adam.
Mhm.
God didn't say be by yourself. He didn't tell you that.
He
So,
made man a helpmate. But you said something that was interesting. I hope I ain't. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when men and women pray for a companion, and you are wanting to focus on what God has for you, um, I I I think it might be wise to pray for direction, guidance, and the right way to approach so that you can still do what thus saith the Lord and maintain that companionship. Because you got a lot of people that's not balanced and they can't balance off the two. It's either all of this or none of that, or mostly here and a little bit here. You have to learn how to be equally balanced, and you can get that by seeking um, wisdom and knowledge from God and
right,
meditating and spending that one-on-one time and developing and understanding all your emotions and feelings that you're going through, not running from your emotions and your feelings. You have to go through them, and the more that you go through them, and I'm just kind of tying it back into what we're talking about from the start to now, you have to go through uh your emotions and your compassions and feel and know what it is like to you. Just like when you are cooking a meal, it's in your best interest to sample along the way so that you know the final product is going to be good. You got some that won't, but to get a better understanding, to know exactly what it is that you're preparing or what you are forked to do. You sample your meals out as you're preparing it to make sure it has enough seasoning. So as
Mhm.
you are going forward to maintain and do what thus saith the Lord, and have a companionship, for the goal is for both of y'all to have the same common goal to move in the same direction. But on recognizing that you're two separate people, you got to
Right.
maintain balance, and you can seek and ask the right questions. This is what I had to learn for over the years. I've been asking all the wrong questions. Learn how to ask God to teach you what the right questions are, and ask the right questions so that you can get a better understanding of who you are, whose you are, what you carry, and who you are in companionship with.
No, that's that. Yeah, that's 100% factual. And that's the thing. Just know that you have to fill your cup up. First.
First, yes.
Oftentimes we want to fill everybody else's cup up, and
Mm,
it's like you said, right? I mean, when you go to a dealership, you're not just going to buy the vehicle; you want to test it out,
mm-hmm.
um, right, to make sure it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is this, right? If you can get on the airplane,
Mm-hmm.
and trust the pilot, right? Because
And you ain't
you
never met
just
that pilot a day in your life.
you have never met the pilot, but you go on there and you say, please, Lord Jesus, keep us all safe on this flight.
Uh-huh. God,
Yeah,
God, the
please make
flight
sure the
person as
pilot
well.
had a great week, well rested, great
You
coffee
never
with
know
me.
what you got out there, but you got to trust and believe that
But
God is going to.
we don't question it
Mm-hmm.
because see, because like you said, I've never met the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I might not even seen the pilot get on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
but I know there's a greater power. And we have to understand what that looks like in our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, look, listen, we all have a past. Ain't nobody on this earth perfect.
Nobody.
No one's gonna come perfectly packaged, right? So if I understand no one's gonna be perfectly packaged, like I'm not expecting you to be perfect, but what I am expecting you is to give me the same respect I give you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people get that confused with emotional intelligence. Um, it's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
In order for me to even want to have any type of emotional intelligence or provide any type of safe place, I need to be respected as a man.
Yeah,
You need to be respected as a woman.
absolutely.
So I think you have to trust it. Because let's be honest, right? I'm from Las Vegas. Everything you do is a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
You meet somebody, you really don't. You might like them and think highly of, but you still don't know if it's gonna work. You go through the motions. You roll the dice, right?
You trust that
You
God sent you who you was supposed to be with.
you just take those debit cards that the dealer dealt you, and you just kind of say, okay, all right, you're either gonna fold them or
Thank you for
bluff.
joining the live. Much appreciated.
It's it, it, it's
Thank you
up
for the heart.
it's up to you, but yeah, it's okay to give people a chance when you're
Mm-hmm.
ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't punish people for what other people have done wrong. A lot of people do that though.
Yeah, a lot of people are stuck in their past, and it's hard to get out of that situation. But you got to you were somebody's past, and you got to look at situations. However long it took for you to get over it, understand that it might take longer or that same amount for someone else to get over the
That's
situation.
what I'm saying. I tell men all the time, like, it's okay to say you used to be a dog.
Hmm.
Like, it's okay. Did you learn from it though?
Yeah.
Did,
My thing is,
did
do
you?
you miss it?
What?
If you sit there and tell me yes, then I don't know about that one. But
Right. So, but essentially, right? We all have a past.
yeah, we all do.
We had to say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I used to do that." But who are you today? Who you are today doesn't define. You know what I mean? Who you
Yeah.
were in the past doesn't define who
You're
you
not your
are.
past choices. You're not.
Exactly.
You're not. You're not your decisions and choices.
Did I learn from that? Like, did I learn from
That's the
hurting that?
important part right there. Yeah.
Did you learn from hurting that man? What did you get out of it? Because
I said yes, yes, yes. Do you miss it?
nothing. Yes, yes, yes. Um, but life is going to teach you when you don't even want to learn, and that's the harsh reality. Life
That's
is going
life is this is school regardless whether you want to be it. If you sign up for it or not, you in school, earth school, regardless.
exactly. Exactly.
You're
It's okay
taking
to just
tests and quizzes, not even asking for it, not even studying for it. You are going in it head on. That's what life
yeah,
is. It's a big
and you
test.
read the room, right? A lot of people
Hmm
don't even know how to have conversations with people. As elementary as that might sound.
hmm That's why I say use these tools. They're important.
Exactly. And don't fight the feeling. Like,
Hmm
if you're an adult, right? Let someone just be honest with you. If you're an adult and you like somebody, let them know.
hmm
Stop acting like everything is like, and I get it, right? You are what you attract, and I understand that, right? You can't be a toxic person and expect to attract somebody that, you know what I mean?
And that's
But
pure.
yeah,
Well, no, you
exactly.
the opposites do attract, but you got to know. You got to
Yeah,
know.
opposites attract, but good luck.
You still got to know yourself, and you got to know
Yeah,
your limits,
you know, so
your emotions, practice self discipline and consistency.
exactly, but a lot of people are afraid to tell people like don't do that, right? If you life is first of all, life is a blessing. To wake up every day is a blessing.
Hmm
So enjoy life. So if you like somebody as an adult, it's okay to say, hey, I think you're awesome. I
hmm
would like to get know you better. People don't like people make it so awkward
hmm
when it don't have to
You're right.
be. You know what I mean?
hmm And either it's words. If I mean, either you do or you don't. Life still goes on. You
Right.
continue to move on and do what you got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes people let their blessings pass them by. They won't recognize it because they're still stuck in that loop.
hmm
You can't be stuck in a loop. People continue to play the same old movie scene over and over and over and over. And they're stuck in that loop. And by the time they figure it out, it's like you might have missed your future wife or your future husband, all because you still view everybody under that microscope of being toxic when really has nothing to do with anybody else.
That's why you got to pay
It's
attention to your discernment and your
everything to do with
intuition.
yourself.
Hmm
Exactly. But be careful. Be careful because the enemy's very
Cunning.
cunning, very sharp, very slick. You know what I'm saying? So
The enemy goes off of your weakness. So if you can master all of your negative and your weaknesses and get over them and overcome them, that's why
right.
you don't run through your emotions and your feelings.
Angela, we're not getting no younger, right? I'm 42 years old. The
Hmm
thing is, I can tell when I'm having a good time.
hmm
And I can honestly be honest. Like if it's a vibe, it's a vibe, right? Like
hmm
we don't have to fake the vibe.
hmm
We know, like, okay, cool. We people tend to draw out, like, make the date drawn out. I'm not that type. Like, first of all, like some women say, I don't want to go to Starbucks. Well, wait a minute. I'm not dating the restaurant. I'm getting to know you. So I
Thank you.
understand surroundings, but I mean, a coffee date, some women view that as that's the lower totem pole. Um, but my thing is, if I'm trying to get to know you, I'm
hmm
trying to get to know you.
hmm
Keyword you, not the restaurant, not the food in the menu.
hmm
I'm, now if you're looking for a sugar daddy or a sugar mama, this might not be for you. But and that's the thing. Like, don't waste people's time.
Yeah.
It's but we make it so complicated. We want to play in people's face. We want to
Yeah.
say all these
It's too
things that
much
don't
going on in this world. Be playing with people's time and
smile
emotion.
with a person, right?
Hmm
I don't like, if I'm dating, I'm dating. I don't have to lie about that. I
hmm
don't belong to anybody. But once I do get to a point where I'm comfortable, my nervous system is okay, and I recognize that hey, there's some compatibility here. I see value here. It's the consistency because of just you being an adult, right?
Thanks for the
Then,
compliment.
then yeah. Now it has changed.
Hmm
Things now it's shifted,
And
right?
there's been a shift for those that are not aware. There's been a change in the atmosphere. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go
No,
ahead.
no, and you're absolutely 100%. Everything changes.
Hmm
Now, what we talked about 30 minutes ago,
hmm
it's now am I trolling, right? It now becomes got past the first stage. I got you. I was able to have that phone conversation, get you to the date. Now we're comfortable. Maybe we haven't got to the bedroom yet. But now I'm a little too comfortable, right? I'm just a little too comfortable because now I know you like me.
hmm
Now I know you're getting upset by the little things that I'm doing.
hmm
So it's like you have to understand, and that takes experiences. Like it's okay to have like people think, oh, I'm not gonna. I just want to talk about the rainbows and sunshots, but we all know reality.
No,
Like you gonna get on my nerves. Like I'm not gonna like you.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna like you every day.
And that's
I'm gonna
normal.
like some people.
That's in everything. I mean, marriage and so forth. But then
Right.
that's what the like I said before, the get to know the real person that you dating or talking to
Yeah.
is that first argument. How you
Yeah.
respond or how you overcome that argument is going to determine whether or not you're going to continue on with that
Well,
particular
I'm think he
situation.
would give us free will. He give you free will when you married.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that. So like people always tend to say think that just because we down the marriage out, that's gonna change who you are as a person.
No, you're still a
Oh no.
person.
So
It's not like a machine that comes over you and transform your whole mind. No, you're still who you are. You learn in the process.
exactly. So it's like we can't even get to that conversation unless in a regular relationship I feel that comfortable. And that's the times that we're in. People instead of just being like, you know what? I like this. They're cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Hmm.
I don't quite know if they're, but I do see interest and value there. Let me get to know it. And it's okay to do that.
Yeah, and some people come in
That's the
and
choice that you have.
yeah, and some people come along to give peace. You gotta when I say pay attention to your intuition and your discernment, if you are around somebody and you feel peaceful, and then and if they're not there, you don't feel that same peace. Recognize that you don't know what you're in the presence of when you meet people. People need to sometimes just recognize the ambiance, recognize what is coming across, as well as the conversations. And then when that person leaves, do you still feel at peace? All that is a play in the direction to where you have to or want to go in. But I understand till you said that be careful because the enemy could be deceiving. But you have to trust your discernment. It's internal. You know what it is that you're feeling. And if you feel an inkling of something that's negative, don't ignore that either. You'll know as you as an individual to know if this person is giving this to me or is it something, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn to tie them back. Once you start going through these emotions and these feelings and so forth that you feel as an individual, you know what is real and what is not real, what is okay, we'll try this or what not to. Or you know what I'm saying? You just got to know you and trust in you and that self-discipline and consistency. You try to tie it in.
Exactly. No, that's
Hmm.
facts. That's absolute facts.
But yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Just be honest, be authentic. Like, look, this is what I'm looking for. And you know what? You don't even have to say it out loud. Some things are it's just for personal keeping, right?
Hmm.
Personal mental bookkeeping. And that can help you to decipher who you want in your life. Like, let's be honest, right? When you're dating, maybe you're dating one or two people. And that's okay. It's okay to have comparison. You're gonna meet people, right? I mean, that's just the nature of things. You could be, oh, let me go put some gas in my car. You could meet your husband. That's just how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you're walking around with this bitter heart, this hardened heart, you know, um, and you're still just mad at the world, like that's an internal thing, right? That's you now. It has nothing to do with anybody else, but for the people that actually do the work
Hmm.
and they get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm okay. I forgive them. I wish them the best. I pray that they find someone who holds them in high regard and all that. You become a whole different person, man. People don't realize that dark room will humble you.
Yeah.
Um, but when you come up out of it, it's a beautiful thing because now you're more resilient. You like, wait a minute, I put up with that for 7 years. What must have been? I must have been smoking and drinking.
You was in class. You was in class. But you said something that was important too, authenticity. Be yourself. A lot of people try to read the room and try to be something they're not because of how they feel the other person is or coming off. But no, be authentically yourself. And when you're dating in the beginning or you're first starting to meet somebody and start talking, that's when you need to be as honest as possible. Let the other person decide whether or not you for them or not, and vice versa. Be honest. And you can most likely tell by if whatever date you take them on and what they order, the appetite of the other person that you're with. So pay attention to every detail, but still keep an open mind and open heart. And just know yourself, learn yourself, know yourself. You got to be confident in you. Um, but we've been on for an hour and 34 minutes, and I had a whole bottle and a half. So I need to end this life like this. But what did I say? Can I see this?
No, it's been great talking to you.
Oh,
It's always great when I come on your panel. I think, it's a lot to be, still learned. And, we got to continue just do what makes us happy. Like you said, keep God first at the forefront if you believe it.
mm-hmm.
And, stop taking everything so serious. Like at the end of the day, you know what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what allows you to be, to build in the capacity that you want to build in. And I think once you just put your foot down and say, you know what,
Stick with your boundaries.
I'm not gonna be too guarded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm allow myself, if you decide to be in a relationship, to go down that path and just know that God is guiding you. You're gonna be okay. But yeah, Nedra, it's a pleasure. Every time I'm on and I see you on, I'm like, I know you're talking that real talk.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
but I've had a blast this morning as well.
Same here.
You enjoy your Wednesday.
You
Have a
do.
blessed and prosperous week. And I appreciate you having me on your panel as
Thank
always.
you. Thank you. You do the same. Have a wonderful day. And to you all out there, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Now you love you. Till next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day. The direction is always forward and up. Till next time. Peace. Peace.